Smith with RealAgriculture.com. I'm joined today by Joe Vink at the Momentum Tour. We are talking about Xtend Soybeans. What is this?
So Xtend Soybeans are our newest herbicide-tolerant trait in soybeans. And Xtend Soybeans are dicamba tolerance stacked on top of Roundup Ready 2 yield soybeans.
Okay, so why? Why dicamba? What does this offer for farmers?
Yeah, so the biggest benefit to dicamba is that we're getting early season residual weed control of broadleaf weeds, which we're not used to seeing with Roundup. And so some of the benefits around having early season weed control is that soybeans are not competitive early season with weeds. And when you have a product that like dicamba that can control that early flush and make sure that the soybeans get off to a good start with to maintain that maximum yield potential, and that's really what we're seeing our yield advantage compared to a standard 2-pass with Roundup. We're seeing about 2.4 bushels per acre increase in yield when you add dicamba early on to your weed management program.
Okay. Now, what are tell me about what weeds does this control? Where does it really shine?
In eastern Canada, there has certainly been a number of glyphosate-resistant weeds that have caused problems for eastern farmers. That being giant ragweed, Canada fleabane, and common ragweed. And so having the addition of dicamba into those situations where those glyphosate-resistant weeds exist, dicamba provides excellent weed control on all three of those weed species. In addition to glyphosate-resistant weeds, dicamba certainly has a broad acre fit in terms of weed management on growers' farms. Excellent residual control of species such as lamb's quarters and pigweeds, and also really picking up on that lack of or weakness that Roundup Weathermax has on weeds such as the smartweed species like lady's thumb.
All right, now we're going to move to this Xtend trait has a whole system that goes along with it for maximum benefit. So we're going to go through that in just a sec. All right, Joe, we've got, thankfully, a bit of a storyboard here because, of course, when we're working with a new system, I have to familiarize growers with how this is going to work best. I think it's really neat. There's sort of several key points that Monsanto's sort of bringing home for farmers in using this system. Why the nozzle recommendation? So
with the introduction of a new herbicide-tolerant trait, of course there are issues of off-target movement of dicamba and Roundup to off-target crops in neighboring fields. And so when we launched this technology, the goal is really to make sure that we're maximizing the weed control in the grower's field and keeping the herbicide where it needs to be to get full value out of this system. And so some of the ways that we'll be actively promoting to make sure that we're using dicamba and glyphosate responsibly is by making sure that growers are using nozzles that produce very coarse to ultra coarse droplets, really minimizing the percentage of driftable fines that can move across a field. Making sure that our sprayer speeds are lower than 25 kilometers per hour, because as you increase speed, you have to increase pressure, which has a higher potential for smaller droplets and more drift. And really just making sure that we apply it during proper wind speeds, so from 3 to 15 kilometers per hour, and making sure that wind is moving away from sensitive crops. Other ways to make sure that dicamba stays where it needs to be is by applying it early. So not only do you see the benefit in terms of weed control from that early application, but you also have a stewardship benefit in a sense, is that when you spray the herbicide early, there's less chance for other sensitive crops to be nearby, and making sure that we're doing the responsible thing with dicamba.
So when can farmers look forward to seeing this in their fields?
So the Roundup Ready 2 Xtend Soybeans, we're still waiting on key export approvals globally. We are fully registered both for over-the-top use of dicamba in soybeans and the biotech trait in Canada. And so we expect to have sales for Xtend Soybeans in the fall of 2015 in anticipation of planting in the spring of 2016.
Okay, thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.